if you hear a crackly sound on this video, it's my dog, and he's chewing a little wrapper, and I can't catch him to get it. So I'm just gonna deal with it. His name is Bubba. You probably saw Emmylou holding him in our last video. Speaking of our last video, when Emmylou and I sat down and talked about joy, I wear two hats at our church. I lead our worship, and I lead our kids ministry from babies to 5th grade. So I got back to work for the week, and I was looking at the lesson for Sunday, and the bottom line, which is like the point that they take home, was about choosing joy. And I thought, oh, that is just such perfect timing. And I love when God does that, just confirms something in your spirit. And so yesterday, I was sharing with my sister Holly, who works right above me, she works for our schools, what I wanted to share today. And I was telling her I really wanted to talk about how God has made us each unique. And I was thinking of the verse about being knitted in our mother's womb. And we finished lunch, I get back to the office, and I'm planning for this Sunday. So help me, this is the verse for the month of February. How you made me is amazing and wonderful. I praise you for that. What you have done is wonderful. I know that very well. It kind of blew my mind, to be honest. And I really want to go ahead and read the verse before that. That's Psalm 139:14. I want to read verse 13. And I'll go ahead and this is the Amplified version, so I'll finish it out and do 14 as well. For you formed my innermost parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I will give thanks and praise to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. And I want to talk about fearfully and wonderfully made. Because in the Hebrew, the word fearfully, it was to revere or to stand in awe of. And when I had my babies, Emmett and Emmylou, I had never been more amazed at the handiwork of God. And then wonderfully made. Wonderfully, the Hebrew word was meaning unique and set apart. So that made me think, in Genesis, God says we're made and he made us in his image. And that involves a lot, how our spirit reflects God's character. But there's two things that I want to touch on with that. God is one of a kind. There is no one else like him. If we are made in his image, I believe we are also one of a kind. That there are no copies. He didn't cut corners or use a cookie cutter. He made each of us with his hands, and he gave us a specific purpose and plans that he made just for us, and special gifts that he gave just to us. And he used us in a way that he will use each of us as individuals. And the other thing is that God is holy, and holy means set apart. And I believe that God has set us apart. We are not supposed to look like the world. And I believe we're not supposed to look like each other even. I feel like we are supposed to be ourselves, for lack of a better term, because I do believe God made us each unique and special. And I'm excited to share that with our kids this week, because I think there's so much pressure, not just on kids, on adults, to conform to the world. And this is what everybody's doing, and this is what everybody's wearing, and this is what everybody likes. And it's like, who cares? We need to just look at the truth, and we know in our hearts what is right. We can hear from the Lord for ourselves. And I wanted to touch on the fact, thinking along those lines, that I am a words of affirmation person. As a creative person, a compliment goes a long way. It really empowers and encourages me when someone says they enjoyed or they were blessed by something that I did a good job. Also, negative words can go even further, unfortunately. I wish I wasn't that way, but sometimes I am. But, you know, when I was on the road with Dad, we were always the special guest. And so what we did was always special. And people would come up and say things because they didn't, you know, we did something different than usual. And now I'm a worship leader, and this is a joke, but and there's some truth to it, though. It's like you get less and less special every week when you're up there and they see you all the time. And so, you know, it's been a humbling experience to have that change of, it's not just the songs that I've chosen I'm doing over and over again right now, and I can just make them perfect. It's like we're changing it up every week, and we're serving people. We're doing the songs that are going to minister to them, that they need to be singing. It's just a different type of ministry. And I love it. And so I was just thinking about that our confidence and my words of affirmation come from the Lord. And he gave us a book with a lot of words of affirmation in it. And when you read the word, you can stand on those promises and those truths for your life. So the other word that keeps coming to my mind, and I'm actually working on a song right now, is handmade. We are handmade by God. And it made me think of Ephesians 2:10. We are God's handiwork. Another translation says masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do the good things he planned for us long ago, before we were ever even born, I believe. So I love that. And I was just thinking, you know, how much I love things that are handmade. I love that things that my kids make. This is Emmett's angel that goes on top of the tree every year that he made when he was 2, his paper plate angel. I love that the angel has a mohawk. It's my favorite. This is a little book that Emmylou made for our dachshund Mario that passed away last year. And it's so sweet. All the special memories she has with Mario are in this little book. And I put it in our display case next to his picture. My mom is so good at taking care of stuff and saving things. And I have this pillow that I put in Emmylou's room from when I was a baby. This blanket that was made for me. And then my Nana Dykes, who's 96 now, she makes blankets for all the babies. And this is her crocheted blanket for Emmett that I think is so beautiful and special. So I was just thinking about these things. Even this necklace that I'm wearing, this is actually Emmylou's. I stole it for today. And this ring that I'm wearing, these are handmade. The Presley girls, we love their channel. My whole family watches them. And Katie makes jewelry, and she does such a beautiful job. I love her jewelry. And we all got some for Christmas this year. And I think the reason we're drawn to things like that is because they're one of a kind. They're special. And that's why I'm not very good at making things, but I like to go buy them. I like to treasure them. But I really just wanted to encourage and empower you to embrace who God made you to be. Of course, we all have flaws. We all want to better ourselves. And as we read the word and as we pray and grow in our faith, we become more and more like Christ, that sanctification. And we want to continue to better ourselves. I'm always trying to better myself, but I am careful with the words spoken over my kids and even over myself, because we should be speaking words of life to one another. And sometimes there can be words that will stick with you that are discouraging. And there's things that other people might see as flaws that, if used and pointed in the right direction, are not flaws. There are things about you that God's going to use in a really special way. I know my son Emmett, he's a great athlete. He's a great musician, super smart, really shy. I'll have to sneak him on a video. He was in our little zoo video the other day. But Emmett it's such a bright mind, and he has a little trouble focusing, just like I think his dad does too. If you ever met Jake, he is so full of energy and life. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, you know, in a certain context, not being able to sit still for very long, like school, you know, that can be it can be seen as something that's a struggle. But if put in the right direction, you know, Jake, for years, he teaches school now. He teaches music and to elementary kids. But when we lived in Nashville, he had his own business. He did music shows and music lessons and to little tiny babies and preschoolers mostly. He would go to libraries and entertain kids and teach them. He's an amazing teacher. And I look at him and you know, kids like Emmett who kind of struggle paying attention, a lot of times they'll end up being entrepreneurs. They'll be their own boss, and that energy is just put in just the right direction where they can do things that other people can't do, just because God gave them this special mind, a special way of thinking, and special energy that's just unique to them, because he has plans that match the gifting. And it makes me tear up, honestly, because I'm not worried about Emmett. Emmett's going to do amazing things. I know that. And I like to encourage him in that. And I know that it's important for the words that we say to others. I think I thought of a few things with this. The words of affirmation was one thing. And then also not expecting others to be like us. I think I think I've struggled with that in the past, you know, things about me that kind of frustrate other people that might have to work with me on a regular basis. I'm kind of disorganized and I always get it done and it's always done well. I do it with all my heart, but the process is kind of messy sometimes. It's just the way that my brain works. And I have really tried to say, okay, there are people around me. I need to get things to them in a timely manner. They want to know what to expect. Sometimes I'll just have an idea and I'm like, we'll do that tomorrow. You know, and some people they like a little time to prepare. So, you know, learning to balance that. But also on the flip side of that, I am trying not to expect other people to be like me. The way that I do things is not the only way to do them. And embrace who other people are and celebrate other people. And have this expectation, you know, if others aren't celebrating me, that's okay. I know who I am in the Lord, and I find my confirmation and my confidence in Him. And we're all on a journey of becoming more like Christ and becoming the best version of ourselves that He created us to be. But I was so excited to share that with you. I just wanted to encourage you in who God made you to be, and just to follow the Lord's leading in your life. And we can seek wisdom from the people around us, and we can also learn to hear from the Lord for ourselves. So I hope you take this with you. I do want to share a song with you. Speaking of people who are special, Jake's mom, she passed away before I was able to meet her, but I feel like I know her because her family sure keeps that legacy alive. She was a music teacher. Jake's a music teacher. People tell me he's so much like his mom, Julie. In fact, we're going to Idaho in just a month or so to event in her honor where they provide musical instruments for children. And I think that she made an incredible impact in the world around her, not in just kids, but I know for a fact that she led several people to the Lord, and there's a domino effect. They led other people to the Lord. She was a really neat lady. And up to the day the Lord took her home, she knew where she was going, and she was confident in that, and she really was at peace in that. And I have admiration for her so much because of the stories that people have told me about her and just about her character and who she was. So one of her favorite songs was Spring Up Oh Well, and it's one of my favorite songs to hear Jake sing. It's so fun to sing and play. So I wanted to share that with you today, and I hope it blesses you.
Are you ready, buddy?
Spring up, oh well, within my soul. Spring up, oh well, and make me whole. Spring up, oh well, and give to me that life abundantly. I've got a river of life flowing out of me, makes the lame to walk and the blind to see, opens prison doors, sets the captives free. I've got a river of life flowing out of me. Spring up, oh well, within my soul. Spring up, oh well, and make me whole. Spring up, oh well, and give to me that life abundantly. That life abundantly.
Woo! Finally!
At the